Rain hammered against the cracked windows of the old apartment as Evelyn sat in silence. Her eyes locked on the faint glow of the city outside. 2 years ago, this same city had witnessed her downfall. Once a respected lawyer with a bright future, Evelyn was stripped of everything. Her career, her reputation, and even her family, by the very people she trusted most. Her law firm partners, Victor and Melissa, had framed her in a fraud scandal. They fabricated documents, planted false evidence, and when the police arrived, Evelyn was the one in handcuffs. The betrayal cut deeper than the accusations, because Melissa had been her best friend since college, and Victor, the man she had secretly loved. Evelyn spent a year fighting in court, another year in silence, after her name was cleared but her life destroyed. By then, her career was untouchable, her parents ashamed, and she was left wandering in the shadows of the life she once built. But Evelyn wasn't broken. She was waiting. It began with research. Quiet nights were spent digging through digital trails, passwords, financial records, and whispered rumors. She discovered Victor and Melissa weren't just guilty of framing her. They had been embezzling millions from their clients. A perfect scandal, one Evelyn could use. Her plan wasn't reckless vengeance. It was justice disguised as retribution. One evening, Evelyn disguised herself and slipped into a gala where Victor was delivering a speech. He stood on stage, confident and polished. The audience, his philanthropy. Evelyn smirked from the shadows, recording every word. Weeks of careful hacking had already revealed offshore accounts, shell companies, and hidden files. All she needed was the right moment to expose them. The first move was subtle. Evelyn leaked small fragments of incriminating data to financial journalists, just enough to raise suspicion. Victor and Melissa began to sweat under the media spotlight. They dismissed it as rumors. The second move was bolder. Evelyn planted a whistleblower email within the firm, making it appear as though a trusted employee had turned against them. Panic spread among their staff. Melissa lashed out, firing people left and right, while Victor tried desperately to patch their sinking ship. Evelyn watched it all unravel, savoring their downfall piece by piece. Then came the final blow. On the anniversary of her arrest, the day her life was stolen, Evelyn scheduled the ultimate reveal. At a prestigious business conference, Victor and Melissa were set to announce a new expansion project. Investors, media, and city officials filled the grand hall. Evelyn had already infiltrated the conference's digital system, her flash drive armed with their darkest secrets. When Victor began his speech, Evelyn pressed the button. The massive projector behind him flickered. Instead of promotional slides, the screen displayed bank statements, secret transfers, and emails between Victor and Melissa, plotting Evelyn's downfall. Gasps erupted through the audience as the truth unfolded in bold letters. Fraud, theft, betrayal. Victor froze mid-sentence, his face draining of color. Melissa's trembling hands gripped the podium as journalists rushed forward with cameras flashing. Evelyn stepped out from the crowd, her face revealed for the first time in years. The silence was deafening as she walked toward them, heels clicking against the marble floor. "Remember me?" she asked, her voice steady, but laced with venom. Victor tried to speak, but the words caught in his throat. Melissa's eyes brimmed with tears, realizing too late the trap they had walked into. Security stormed in, followed by police officers who had been tipped off by Evelyn. Earlier that morning, Victor and Melissa were handcuffed on the very stage where they had planned their triumph. Outside, The rain had stopped. Evelyn stood in the cool night air, watching the flashing red and blue lights reflect against the wet pavement. She felt no guilt, no hesitation, only a deep, satisfying calm. She hadn't just destroyed them. She had reclaimed herself. The city that once whispered her disgrace now buzzed with her vindication. Evelyn wasn't the broken woman they left behind. She was the storm they never saw coming. And for the first time in years, she smiled.